village has decided to unveil these memorable stones.
Could you tell me your name and where you're living now?
Darnella Diver, and I live in Boston, Massachusetts.
And when did you leave to go to America?
Well, I went first of all to San Francisco in the late 80s, and I took up permanent residency in Boston in 89.
And are you married over there?
No, but I have, as they say in America, a significant other.
And do you have any memories about living in Marian Park?
Oh, loads. We always, we had great times. We used to be gathering primroses and everything. And we just had great fun going to the beach. That was the biggest thing. Going to the beach, and it never seemed to rain. Beach from morning to night.
And have you seen much changes over the years?
Oh, a lot. Yeah, a lot. And then, of course, all the new houses and everything, and just everybody getting old.
And have you many friends left here in Marian Park?
Oh, loads of the neighbours, and lots of friends that I went to school with. And it's great to see them again.
And how often do you come over to visit here?
A lot, again. My mother just died, and she was sick for a long time, so I was home 6 times in the last year. But normally, before that, 2 or 3 times a year to see her.
And what number did you live in?
Number 2.
And can you remember your neighbours on either side of you?
Oh, of course. But the Lawrences are number 1 and the O'Connors are number 3.
And was there many fighting among neighbours?
Never. No, because they always said there was no point in fighting over kids, because we would be great in 5 minutes again. So
that's great. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Could you tell me your name and where you're living now?
My name is Marcella Gaffney, and I live in Coventry.
And when did you move out of Marian Park?
I moved out of Marian Park in January '71.
And why did you leave?
I left to train to be a nurse in England.
And did you ever come back after that?
I did. I came back for 2 years and worked as a nurse in Letterkenny Hospital. And then I went back to England and met my husband and got married, and I've been there since.
And what do you think of what's happening here today?
I think it's fantastic. I think the committee members that have organised it have been absolutely wonderful.
And what's your biggest memory about living here in Marian Park?
Just all the friendships of everybody, really, and it's been really, really nice. And then meeting up with them again, it's been lovely. It's been really nice.
And what number did you live in?
I lived at number 40.
And do you remember your neighbours on either side?
I do, very much so. My brother married the girl next door, number 41. So yes, I do remember it.
And have you seen many changes over the years?
Lots and lots of changes, yeah. Buncrana has grown tremendous, really. Yeah, I mean, opposite number 40 where I lived is a nursing unit now, and that used to be a play park for us. Yeah.
And when you moved away, what did you miss most about the Marian Park community?
I think I miss the fact that I knew everybody. You went to live in city life and I didn't know anyone really until you made friends. But I think that was probably the main thing really, yeah.
And have you met a lot of your old neighbours here today?
A lot of them, a lot of school friends. Yeah, a lot of them, yeah.
And does that bring back happy memories for you?
Very sad memories as well, because it would be very nice to have my mother and father. Yeah.
That's great, thank you very much.
Where I'm living now, I'm living in Upminster, just on the edge of London.
And when did you move out of Marian Park?
I would say it'd been about 1959-60 when we moved away. Yeah.
And why did you move away?
So I suppose the old thing of the old economics at the time, no work in the town, change, and we just moved away. Yeah.
And what number were you living in here?
We lived at number 42, facing to the unit. As it was then, it was Cow Park, as we knew it, as the playing fields.
And can you remember your neighbours?
Yeah. So we had the Lotteries on one side, and we had James and Rosie the Miller on the other side, and the McHughes, and there would have been the Palmers who'd moved away further down on the corner.
And when you moved away, what age were you?
I was about 8 when I moved away.
And what did you miss most about moving
What did I
away?
miss most? I think really when I come back, just recognising the countryside and the views and being so near the sea. When you were here, you just took it for granted. So you have to go away to come back and appreciate what was really here. So that's what I missed most when I was away.
And what do you think of what's happening here today?
I just can't believe the changes around the town, how much it has grown. When I was a wee lad, the town ended at McGinn Cottage, and now it's just expanded way beyond anything I remember.
And do you recognise a lot of people here today?
I've recognised a few, I'd like to say a few. Yeah.
That's great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Liam McHugh, I'm living in Coventry.
And when did you move away? What age were you when you moved away?
18. 42 years ago. A long time, but yeah, I come home virtually every year, you know. It's, I know it holds something for you, doesn't it? You know, home's home. And it's nice to get home.
And what do you think about what's happening here today?
I think it's a great thing, and it's nice to see we the Irish as a race of people, we have a habit of getting together for the wrong reasons, and it's nice to see us get together for the right reasons for a change. You know, that's how I feel about it. Yeah, it's very good.
And at 18, what did you miss when you first moved away?
Good question. I haven't thought about that one. I suppose it's the old story, the use of the family and the mother looking after you and cooking and feeding and washing for you. And all of a sudden you're out in the big world and you have to sort of fend for yourself. Which you grow up a lot quicker. You have to do it that way.
And do you recognise a lot of people here today?
I do recognise a lot of people sure of God, but then again, when I looked at the photo exhibition yesterday uptown, I couldn't believe the number of people I had forgotten. It's just unbelievable, you know, what the years changes, and you think, oh, who's that? Then you suddenly realise. But unfortunately, time moves on and a lot of them are gone, you know.
And have you kept in touch with anybody here in Marian Park?
Oh yeah, well, I've got my brother living here in Marian Park, still lives here, Sean. He married the girl next door. And so the sisters are living here, quite a few of the family. I think there's only 2 of us not back in Buncrana, 2 out of the family of 9, you know, so. But I can't see me back. Holiday's lovely, yeah.
And have you ever, you know, do you have any memories that stick out, happy memories about?
Oh, lots of happy memories with football and dancing and one thing and another, and running about with the lads, and used to go prog on the orchards and things like that, you know. Weren't always good boys, but yeah, there were happy days growing up. 2 ways about it, very happy days.
That's great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm Kathleen McHugh O'Keefe. I used to live at 40 Clonmora. I'm now living in New Jersey, United States. And this is my husband, Ray O'Keefe. My husband.
Ray O'Keefe from New Jersey, here for the celebration.
And what do you think about what's happening here today?
I think it's the greatest thing I've seen in quite a while,
Yeah.
really.
Wonderfully organised. Just you couldn't ask for a better day. Just gorgeous. And tonight's going to be better.
And have you met any of your old neighbours or old friends?
A lot of old neighbours, old friends, and family. And that's what's important.
Yeah,
So it's been wonderful.
it's been quite nice, quite nice.
So thank you very much.
That's great.
I'm Martin Deehan and I'm living in Dunfermline in Scotland.
And when did you leave Marian Park for Scotland?
I left Marian Park in 1970.
And why did you leave?
I met who's now my wife. She was over here on holiday, and one thing led to another, and there we are.
And what number did you live in Marian Park?
I lived in number 47.
And can you remember your neighbours on either side?
Oh yes, we had the Gills on one side and we had my uncle Sonny on the other side.
And was there any fighting among neighbours?
Not much fighting, no, it was more great community spirit though. You know, we had the odd fight, you always have a fight in a good community, you know.
And is there any really good memories that stick out in your mind?
There's nothing in particular, you know, it was always, they were all good people, still are, you know. And everybody looked after everyone else, you know.
And do you recognise a lot of your friends here today?
I see a lot of people I haven't seen in 34 years, you know. So this was worth coming home for.
And what do you think of the service today?
I think it was beautiful, beautiful. Sad at some points, you know, but really beautiful.
That's great, thank you very much. Could you give me your name and what number you lived in Marian Park?
Okay, well, my name is now Una Black, but it was Una Diver, and it was number 2.
And what was it like growing up in Marian Park?
Oh, it really was a great place to grow up in. There was loads of kids, and there was always some activity going on, and there was really, you know, as I said, I wrote a little article about the 50th anniversary, and there was never time to be bored. It was the word just never was in our vocabulary. I remember actually how we got the house. You know, in those days everybody said the rosary. I'm sure many families still do, but we were prayed out because we had had an application in for the house, and of course we were very young children at the time. So Mummy had us on her knees every night, and apart from praying for the soldiers in the Korean War and so on, we had to pray for this house in Marian Park, and we were taken down on trips to see how the construction was coming on. And Mummy put a medal outside number 2, and sure enough, we got number 2. So all our wishes came true, and we moved in. But it was just wonderful.
And what was it like moving into that house and having your neighbours beside you?
Well, in those days you had to dry the plaster out. You know, you couldn't do anything in the house for, I think it was 6 months. My memory might be a wee bit wobbly in that one, but it was a long time. And I can remember the smell of plaster. You know, everything was so new. And of course we had to get lino down because in those days you couldn't afford carpet. And we got the lino down, and then my daddy was going to paint the walls, and I was raging because everything that you saw at the pictures of Hollywood was pink walls, and these were pink plaster, so I thought that was the nearest thing to it. And it was just, it was good. But I suppose, you know, you only remember the really good times, but I don't really remember any bad ones. And we played, the playground was the street. We played football and rounders, and there was shops going, and there was plays going on. We devised our own plays. We did everything.
And what's it like now seeing everybody back together for a day?
Well, first of all, the eyesight's not as good as it was, and I have to look at everybody very closely. It's great. I mean, this night is just absolutely wonderful because it's the first and probably the last time that the people that were brought up there and their children and their children's children are meeting together. And as I say, I just have to kind of make sure that I'm speaking to the right one and have the right name, because I'm away from from Buncrana, living in Letterkenny, so it's, you know, I don't see people as often as I'd like to.
That's great, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
Could you give me your name and your role here today, please?
My name is Margaret McColgan and I am the Secretary of the Clunmora 50th Celebration Group.
And could you tell us what's going on here today in Buncrana?
In Buncrana today we had an open air mass actually in Clunmora on the green, well attended by all the residents and visiting ex-residents. They've come from America, Jersey, France, Canada, and we had that celebration this afternoon, and now we're here in the Gateway Hotel having our dinner dance.
What sort of feedback are you getting from people that have emigrated and come back for tonight?
Very, very positive. When we had the photo exhibition, we put a comments book in there, and that told us how everyone felt. It was going down memory lane. It was just magic, you know, and it just brought back all the memories of people who were living in the park. And the families that have come from abroad are having it as a family reunion.
That's great. Thank you very much.
I did.
And have you set up anything, you know, say in years to come, people come back and look at it? Or?
Yes. We approached the local council about a commemorative stall in the park, and they were very positive, and we now have a stone that says Clunmora 1954 to 2004, but it's actually set in some of the old bridge, the railway bridge that was demolished to make room for the relief road. And we unveiled that today, and our second eldest resident unveiled a plaque. And that was very moving today when that was done. And also all the photographs that we have, they are on CD-ROM, and they will be available to people to look at in the community library.
And what sort of purpose will people get out of looking at these photographs?
I think if you've got grandchildren that know that their great-grandmother lived in Marian Park or Clunmora, they will come and they can go to the library, they can actually access the book, and they can actually access the photographs and try and trace their ancestors by house number. So
that's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My name is Monica McHugh. My role in the group was just part of the group. I had no specific role. It just helped with the organising of the whole events.
And could you tell me what's going on here today? What is the purpose of getting everybody together here today?
The main purpose of getting everybody together was because it's a 50-year celebration. And I suppose when we were all growing up, we all felt very much a part of a community, which has since gone in a lot of areas. And our neighbours would have looked out for us the same as our parents would have looked out. They acted as parents as well. So we just thought, because it was 50 years, and we would set up this group and have a celebration, like a party of events for it.
And is the community still the same today? Does everybody look out for everybody else?
No, we wouldn't see it like that anymore. I don't live in Moncran anymore, but I can safely say I wouldn't really know the people who live 2 doors away from me. And I'd say that's the same for most people.
So what was your fondest memory when you were growing up?
Fondest memory growing up? Well, I feel now when I look at my own children and look back, I would just love that they if they had the same as what I had. We could walk to the local nearest shop, Swedish shop. We could walk to school. We could come home at lunchtime for dinner. We could walk to the cinema, and nobody had to look out for us. And that was the fondest memories of going places mainly on your own or with a bigger sister. The beach was so accessible, and everything was in reach. There was no driving kids here or driving kids there, because people just didn't have cars. And so memories are, I haven't one fondest memory, but that's my general memories.
And do you recognise a lot of the people that were at the Mass
yes,
today?
Yes, even there tonight now, the dinner dance people are all coming in and we're saying, oh, that's you, and your hair's short now, it used to be long, and I'm saying, yeah, and you're, you know, the same. But we do, and even though you might have been best friends with them, it's still lovely to say hello, how are you, and it's just so happy that everybody's here, and it's a fun day and fun celebration.
And what do you hope that everybody will take away with them out of this?
Well, for tonight anyway, we just want everybody basically to enjoy themselves. It's been like a family. It's been a family reunion for ourselves as a family and for most other families. And if nothing else, just a sense of knowing where your roots are.
It's a testament to what the community was like in the past. Yeah. Now that everybody's come back to belong to that community, even if it's for one night, where have all the people come from?
Well, the furthest I know has come from Chicago. My own sister came from New Jersey. Again, people have come from Isle of Man and all over. The furthest I say is America. And they just, the minute they heard about the celebrations, they just booked their holidays, and some people have been home for a long time.
And what do you hope that they'll take away out of this?
Well, I hope they look back and say, God, we had a great holiday, apart from anything else, and it was lovely meeting people, and just make them remember home. Home to everybody, no matter where you're from, is home. And everybody gets so nostalgic. Even myself, I feel homesick days, even only live up the road. We felt that when you were not like in the photo exhibition, which was up the main street, or with the group, that God, you're missing something every day, because that was running for a week. And they were saying, God, people were coming in, we hadn't seen them for years. And we said, oh, I wish I was there. It was like the old Buncrana used to be. Apparently 50 years ago, well, I'm too young to remember that, but 50 years ago they were saying when the Scottish people used to come, and there's a great buzz about the town, and they were saying this week with people coming home for this exhibition, it was just like that. It was like the old Buncrana, and I suppose that's all about memories.
This is Brady O'Donovan from 51 Marian Park, Brady's wife of the late Seamus O'Donovan. Brady, were you at the dinner dance, the Marian Park dinner dance?
I was.
In the Gateway?
I was, enjoyed it very much.
You had a good night?
I had a good night.
And did you meet many people that you hadn't seen for years?
I did, met a lot of people now that I hadn't seen for a good few years.
Aye, people that used to live around this area and had moved away?
Oh, people, that's right, that's right.
And did you, I suppose you've seen a lot of changes in the people that some of you haven't seen from their children maybe?
I did, I've seen changes, and they must have seen a lot of changes in me also.
And when did you move into this house, Brady?
We moved in here in June of 1954.
54, And where did you live before that?
Well, I lived up, after we were married, I lived it for a while at home, because we were looking for a place in Buncrana, and they were very hard to get. It would be only rooms them times. So anyway, finally we got up the lane into a wee small house up there. They used to call it, well, James the Bachelor moved on after it, and it's mostly known, like the younger ones called the James the Bachelors, but it really belonged to Pat McConnell, God rest him. And then there's this old man, he was living in the room, and we went into the kitchen. Part of this where we moved into. And I had Nolan then, she was only a few months at that time. But we stayed on there then till, that would be about, we must have been on it for about 3 years. You know.
So then you got a letter to say you got a house in Marian Park?
Well, we did finally, we thought we weren't going to get known because the houses were all getting out. And I remember as well coming on this day from my work, and I thought to myself, there was another lot of rat holes and another lot of rats around the house, and the old man that was living in the room had moved out, and oh gosh, when I saw the room with rat holes, I'll be quite honest with you, I just got sick. And the houses at that time were all, as we thought, given out. So we had given up hope. So I was for moving out also, going back down to Dumfries again. Till the next, I think a couple of days after then, we got a letter, and it was a Saturday morning, I remember as well. At that time there were a post, you know, in the mornings too, and I remember I headed, as soon as I got the letter, I headed up to the town clerk, which was Patsy Doherty at that time, and he says to me, you haven't very many to pick from. He says, you've only 3 houses. So one of them was 51, 54, and I can't remember the number of the other house. But funny enough, I think it might have been Wally Smith and Sarah. I know, I just can't, but I know it was Patty Doherty, Orny as we called him, and Maggie that got 54. And as far as I think now, it could have been Wally and Sarah. It was only a 2-bedroomed house, so I decided, because Eileen was living next door, and I decided that I would take 51. Eileen was in 52.
So was it long after when you moved in, or did you move in?
We moved in very quick.
Very quick.
To be quite honest, I was glad to, the place was grand, surely to God, for I suffered it on for a good few years. But it was great at the same time to get it. But at the same time, we moved on here fairly fast.
Well, would you have different neighbours then to what you have now, or would it be the same neighbours?
Well, much the same. Well, they're
on each side of you.
On each side of me. Well, Eileen still would be, but they're different neighbours. On the other side, it was Godray's Sonny O'Hagan, was on number 50, and then Barney Henderson, and they were further back, and then 49, and then 48 was Colm Gill and Eilish, and then back to Donaghy's.
So you must see some changes now.
Oh, big changes now altogether, big changes,
And your husband Seamus, he worked in the factory, did he?
In McCarthy's. He'd worked McCarthy's for a long while. And God rest him, he took second date. I think it was 42 years he had been in McCarthy's.
And had he still been working at it, and had he been retired?
He would be retired if he was still living.
Before he died?
Oh no, he took sick. He took sick and he had to give up his work.
Well, how many family had you, Brady?
I had 4, 2 girls and 2 boys.
And what was their names?
Nolene and Fidelma and John and Jared.
And are they all living nearby, or?
Well, John, he's living in Galway, and he works from home from Galway. He's in London and then he's back in Galway. So Jared lives up there in Millfield Heights. Fidelma lives up in Ardravin, and Nolene lives down in Dumfries.
And I suppose they're coming and going all the time?
Aye, well, nearly see them nearly every day, that some time of the day, or if I don't see some of the children around, grandchildren.
How many grandchildren have you?
Oh, I have 15 grandchildren. I have 1 great-grandson.
Okay, Brady, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Good luck to you.
Okay, thanks very much yourselves.
We're now in the home of Eileen McLaughlin, Lynch, formerly of Marian Park. Eileen and a lot of other members of her family, and indeed a lot of other people from Marian Park, were members of the Buchanan Youth Accordion Band. So what's your memories of joining the band, Eileen?
Well, my memories of joining the band was whenever I was younger, that the rest of our ones was in the band. My mother was in the band, and we all just went and we had good crack in the band. And
as far as I remember, the band was started in 1972.
That's right.
There was a public meeting in St Mary's Hall, and they were trying to raise funds to buy instruments, and 10 business people from the town put up £50 each at the time to buy the instruments, and they later formed a committee. So the first practice of the band, I think, took place about maybe a month or September, October. And you were in the band from?
No, I wasn't on that time, but they were out then. That Christmas was their first outing.
The first Christmas, we were playing Christmas carols. We had white jumpers, black trousers, and wee monkey hats with a tassel on them.
That's right.
And we walked around the town playing carols and raising money on the way. The first teacher of the band, as far as I can remember, was a man called Wally Healy from Derry.
Wally Healy and his son.
And his son Wally, he trained the drummers.
That's right.
And how long were they there?
Wally and his son was there for about 20, I would say 20 years.
20 years.
Both was there for about 20 years, and then Wally took on well. And young Wally stayed. And they took another boy with him, then Dan McGillivray. If you remember him.
I do, surely.
Dan, and then Dan passed away as well. And then Thingy took over Jim. And then Annette Friel took over. And then Jim came back then for a while. And then I took over after Jim gave up. And now at the minute we have another Jim. Jim Kilgore from Derry. And Barney Hassan, which is there a long time. He was there all the time with me. I would say he's there now. He was there in your time. I was probably there now about 25 years. So I would say he's there.
And as far as I can remember too, Wally Healy, for a number of years, done it without payment.
That's right.
I think at that time you used to pay for a holiday in Buncrana for him, he wouldn't take money for he knew that the funds were low. And he came down 2 or 3 times a week.
That's right.
And went to competitions all over the county and then indeed all over the country.
That's right, during Dublin and the Slogoo.
I can remember going to the Slogoo.
Slogoo in Dublin. I was, I went to All Ireland's the time the Fla was in Buncrana.
That's right, Used to go to the Harvest Festival in Ballyshannon.
That's right,
The Murray from Dunloe Festival.
Murray from Dunloe, all round. All festivals all over Ireland we were.
And how many in your family was in the band?
There was 5 or 6 of us.
6 out of the one family?
Daniel and Anne and Rose and Liam and Michael and Patrick and myself.
And a lot of the members of the original band, I would say 90% of them would have been from Marian Park.
The biggest majority was from Marian Park at that time. Everybody used to go from one house to another house for practicing on their own. And everybody had their own accordions to practice with. They got them maybe at Christmas or something, and they got their own accordion, and they'd go from one to the other and practice.
That's right, You had the Elizabeth Ann Castey and the Gills.
Camilla Davis and Mae Smith and...
That's right,
Tricia Eccles and Monica McHugh.
That's right, and then a lot of people from Castlepark as well.
There was ones from Castlepark. It was nearly all ones from the town. Actual town itself was in it at that time.
That was a very strong band, so it was.
Jamesy Quirk.
Jamesy Quirk, Hugo Doyle, Charlie Donaghy, Angela Eccles and myself were on the drums.
Olive Murphy.
Olive Murphy was on the bass drum, that's
bass drum.
The original committee members, I think, Dr. McGuck, was the president at the time.
That's right.
And there was Sister Eugene, Sister Baptist.
And Eileen Fletcher. And Millie McLaughlin. And Paddy Pa. And Jim Friel. Paddy Coyle. And the other Jim Friel. There's 2 Jim Friels. And
Brady Porter. Rosalind
Cassidy. Ross
Gagnon. Bridget
Murphy. I think that's most of them. Jim Sheridan was there too, that's right, like Jim Sheridan.
And that committee lasted, I would say, for about maybe
10 or 15 years.
And then gradually the
committee changed round then.
And a lot of those people, they've still a great interest in the band, even though so many years later, you
would still come out and support the band in different ways, and love hearing the band coming and love seeing the band doing so well.
And to this day the band still winning prizes.
This day, last year in 2004 they qualified, they won 11 competitions on the Donegal Marching Band Association. They won the Donegal Championships of the Fla, they won the Ulster Championships of the Fla, and they won the All-Ireland Championships of the Fla, and they also won the County Championships. And this year they've automatically qualified last Sunday for the All-Ireland this year again. On the Ulster Championships they qualified to go through to the All-Ireland, which is going to be held in Letterkenny on the 28th of August this year. So they are progressing very well.
That's great altogether. And you still have a good committee, you have a good strong committee?
Good strong, we've both committee now, there's 2 of us that runs the band, myself and Siobhan Lynch, and we have a fundraising committee which consists of 7 different people. Anne Lynch and Bernie Carter and my sister Rose and Olive, sister-in-law Olive Murphy, and we have Michelle Clark and Amanda Doherty. And both myself and Siobhan helps them out as well whenever fundraising to keep the thing running, and doing very, very well.
How many roughly would be in the band now?
At the band at the present there's about 45 members.
45 members. And how many times a week do you practice? Or
we practice once a week, but now coming up now we're out every Sunday, and this last couple of weeks now we've practiced twice a week to get ready for the Ulsters and the All-Ireland.
And of course it gives the youngsters on the band a great interest, and
it's great for the young ones, yeah. It's great for the young ones and the interest to keep them going, because you know where they are when they're out.
And they look forward to getting away.
They look forward then and going on outings, but then they look forward at the end of the year getting away for a weekend or something. It keeps them going.
And you've changed your uniform?
We changed it lately. We changed our uniform last year, and we changed all our instruments last year. It took 45,000 to rig them complete from start to finish last year.
So you ran a draw?
So we run a draw for HIT 2 years ago for a car, and was a great success. And we run a draw this year for 10,000, and it was a very good success. So that hopefully that'll keep us going for another 2 years.
So the band started in '72. It's going what, 33?
It's going about 33 years.
33 years. It's a great achievement to run anything in any town for so long.
That's right. It must be the only going band as long on the road as what it is.
There was a lot of other bands.
The rest of them's all split up. They got too expensive and they just couldn't keep them going no longer. But with the help of the business people in Buncrenna, it's a credit to them, they kept us going. So far, so good.
So long may it keep going that way.
Well, hopefully.
Well, Eileen, I wish you and the committee and the band every success for the future, and hope you do well in the All-Ireland Fly at the end of August, is it?
End of 28th of August, yeah.
And hope you have as much a success in the future as you've had in the past.
That's great, thanks very much.
The call